Shields up, Ironbreakers. We're kind of here coming at you with another video, and before we get on to today's topic, I have two quick updates I want to share with you guys because YouTube notifications don't always work. As such, sometimes I am forced to repeat myself, so apologies if you already knew about these two things, but in case you didn't, well, now you're going to know. The first update is that I started a Final Fantasy XIV channel here on YouTube. There's going to be links in the description and in the pinned comment of this video. In case you guys are interested in Final Fantasy XIV content, make sure to check that out. And if you enjoy the content, subscribe, hit the bell notification and all of that jazz on that channel. If, however, you are not interested in Final Fantasy XIV content, then please do not subscribe to that channel because that's going to be the bulk of the content that I'm going to be uploading there. So that's just to let you guys know. And second update is that tonight there's going to be the another reveal type event for the PlayStation 5, where I'm assuming they will talk about a couple of more features that the console is going to have. They're going to show us a couple of more launch titles, and we will finally get to know the price of PlayStation 5, even though, you know, there's already been leaks and stuff that indicate that the price is going to be like $499, which is going to match the Xbox Series X. It is going to be officially confirmed tonight, and I will be live streaming it here. So by the time this video goes up, most likely there will already be, you know, like an event, so you can go and you can hit the reminder thing and all that jazz if you are interested in knowing more about the PlayStation 5 and if you want to hang out with me while we're watching all of that stuff live. But anyway, those were the two updates. On with the video. And today's topic is brought to us by Bad Monster Hunter Takes over on Twitter. This showed up in my feed because I have my feed to pretty much show me anything that is posted on Twitter about Monster Hunter. And this is basically a Reddit post that someone posted up with a couple of suggestions of how it would improve the game. So I'm going to be going over all of these suggestions, and then at the end I'm going to be focusing on the final suggestion, which is the title of this video, which is talking about battle passes and why I feel that they wouldn't really work on Monster Hunter, or at least, you know, some of the reasons why I wouldn't want them to be in Monster Hunter. But let's talk about this. So he starts this by saying, game changes that will help Monster Hunter blow up. Now, I don't feel like Monster Hunter needs to blow up to become like the biggest franchise in the world because, you know, I think it's fine if a franchise serves a certain niche. I think that Monster Hunter World actually hit its stride when it comes to Monster Hunter type games because it was basically the biggest game Capcom has ever made, and it was incredibly consumer friendly, at least as far as I'm concerned. I don't think anyone can deny that because we got so much content, so many hours of gameplay for the money that we pay for this game. Like, I mean, you're talking about $60 right now, even if you paid, I don't know, even if you bought Monster Hunter World when it came out and then the expansion later, you're talking about $100. And in my case, it was 2,600 hours. And I still haven't done some of the stuff that I want to do in the game. And we still haven't received the final update to the game. I feel like that's pretty damn consumer friendly as far as I'm concerned. And it actually breaks the mold on what a lot of games have been trying to do in terms of live services and stuff like that, which is really, really cool and extremely refreshing to see. And I hope that they keep on that path as opposed to taking the more mainstream approach that is kind of like suggested here. But anyway, this person goes on to say, hello all, I'm so far having a good time with the game. I'm doing pretty well, but I was thinking about this today and I have some ideas for how to get this game to blow up. I think we all know that this isn't the most popular game. You're right, it isn't, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't need to be popular because, you know, popular these days, what is popular? Fortnite, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Minecraft, you know, these games that are kind of like largely appealed for, you know, streamers to kind of stream, and that kind of like makes them more popular, and then more people play them. Like you also have Fall Guys. Yeah, you have a ton of these streamer-like games that blow up because they're, you know, super streamer friendly. But ultimately, when I look at a video game, even though I, as a content creator, right, I'm a content creator, and the more streamer friendly a game is, the better it is for me. But ultimately, I'm much more interested in having a game that is fun than a game that is streamable, because that is what the most popular games are nowadays. It's streamable games. Grand Theft Auto 5 RP. Like, you look at the top list of streamed games on Twitch, and usually whenever a game that is not like super designed around streaming and streaming functionality, whenever a game like that actually reaches close to the top of Twitch, it's going to be on its release date, it's going to be on its release week, and then 2 weeks from then, down into the dumps of the directory it goes. That's just how it goes. And that is what I would consider to be popular video games. Not necessarily the most interesting video games to play, at least not in my experience, but it is what it is. So a lot of people enjoy them, so whatever. Anyway, let's talk about this. If we want to attract new players and make this franchise popular, I can think of quite a few quality of life improvements. Reduce monster health by half. What? I mean, come on. Right now it's a snooze fest because it takes so long to kill monsters. In many respects, monsters are just sponges. This should not be the case. Make the monster fights more engaging. More engaging? Dude. I haven't seen a game with a better combat system. What are you talking about? And don't make them so tanky. They're not even that tanky. Like, most monsters aren't even that tanky unless you're talking about potentially like some of the more endgame type activities, unless you're talking about, I don't know, doing Safi Jiva. Sure, Safi Jiva is going to be tanky if you go in there solo, but even Safi, if you go in there with a 4-man team, he's going to get blown the crap up like real fast. So like this point, the first point, I just like, dude, when you go look at speedruns, and I know not everybody does speedrunning, it's understandable, but like even the most casual of players that just puts a lot of points into defense and not that much into offense, you can get through most hunts like sub 20 minutes. Is like, I don't know if you want to get through a hunt in 5 minutes, but that's just not the kind of game that this is trying to be. It's Monster Hunter. It's supposed to kind of like simulate you hunting this large creature. As a matter of fact, for those of you that don't know, for those of you that started with Monster Hunter World, one of the main complaints of Monster Hunter veterans is that hunts are too fast in Monster Hunter World. Like, they end too fast. Like, the monsters don't have enough HP. That is actually one of the complaints that some of the more veteran hunters have. So this first point, I completely disagree. Introduce a toggle lock-on system. I think we all hate the camera. No, we don't. Make life easier by having a toggle lock-on system. That way players don't have to worry about manually modifying the camera all the time. That's in the game. That's legitimately in the game. Just go to camera options and figure it out. Experiment with it. I don't know what the exact option is for the lock-on system, because I don't like it. And let me tell you also, by the way, because I could just say, hey, that's in the game, whatever. Let me tell you why most people don't use that option. The reason people don't use that option is because when you lock on to the monster, you're basically tunnel visioning yourself. And in Monster Hunter World, the reason why that's a bad thing is because when you're tunnel vision, you can't see potential opportunities for attacking the monster in different ways. Like, for instance, you might be looking at the monster who's like all the way over to your left, but he is in range of a ledge, but you don't see the ledge because you're locked onto the monster. You got like blinders on, so you're just locked onto this monster, and you don't see the potential for going up to a ledge and doing an aerial attack. Or you're locked onto the monster, so you don't look up and you don't see that the monster is actually below a set of rocks that you can throw a slinger shot at and drop rocks on top of him. You're locked onto the monster. Maybe you don't notice that close by there's a yellow boy. I forget what the actual name is. One of those yellow toads that paralyzes stuff. There's a yellow boy there, and you don't notice that because you're locked onto the monster. That's the reason why people don't use the lock-on feature, because they want to be aware of everything that is in the zone and everything that they can use to kind of like take advantage. Like, maybe you're looking at the monster, you don't see that there's a wall to the left that you can pick up an ammo that's to the right of you. You can pick up the ammo to the right, clutch onto the monster's head, slam him to the left, and wall bang him and get a massive opening. But you don't see any of those things because you're locked onto the monster. That's why people don't use it. But that lock-on system is actually there. 2, introduce monster health bars. Look, I want to know how close I am to killing a monster. It would help with planning for traps, potions, rations, and would help players out. Right now, there's no health bar, but it would be a huge quality of life improvement if it was introduced. See, that's the thing. We got the damage numbers. Now people also want health bars. Back in the old day, we didn't even have damage numbers. And I'll be honest, I use damage numbers now because, like, look, whenever a game is going to give me more information, I'm going to take it. Because that's going to make me a better player. But in my opinion, I would prefer not even having the damage numbers. Okay, damage numbers is something that they added new because it's something that a lot of players expect. I mean, hell, even Fortnite shows damage numbers when you're shooting somebody. I don't know how important that is. I don't actually play Fortnite, but it's like in a shooter, people are showing damage numbers. I don't know, that to me just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it is like the current way of people doing video games. Like, yeah, we want to see big numbers pop up and stuff. Like, I usually want to see numbers in MMOs. In MMOs, sure, I want to see numbers. I want to see all my characters doing all that. In Monster Hunter, there's much more tells to the monster. And it's much more interesting to interpret how that hunt is going based on, certain tells that the monster can give you. Like if the monster starts limping, you know that he's about to die. If the monster looks tired, like he's drooling, you know that he's out of stamina. That's an opening that you can get in order to punish the monster. There are other tells, like another example would be if you look at the Yangaruga, whenever he's about to die, his ears flap back into his head because he's about to die. And there's plenty of more monsters that have different tells and specific things to that monster. Like in older games, you had the Gypsyros, where he would actually fake his death. He would pretend that he was dead, and you know that he's close to dying when he does this. But it's another cool thing, because like you see him drop down, and you're like, oh yeah, I win. That's like the troll thing, right? Everybody always trolls their friends in Monster Hunter the first time that happens to them. Like I had that happen to me. I did that to other people, which is I see him go down. I know he's not dead yet, but I let the newbie player go there anyway, and then he gets smacked by the wake-up attack of the Gypsyros. Like, it's much more interesting to interpret what is happening with the monster based around the monster's behavior than looking at a health bar. As a matter of fact, that was one of the things that I disliked the most that they changed about Dauntless, because Dauntless also didn't used to have a health bar for their monsters. But they added something. I don't know if this is just for like a special mode or whatever, but they did add something that kind of gives you the quarter health of the monster. So when you reach 75%, like a piece of the pizza disappears and you're just like, oh, so now you know the health of the monsters. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't even like the damage numbers. I'll use the damage numbers because they're there, but I don't like them. And I think that's actually bad for the game, because this is not the type of game that you're playing to just like massively, I'm going to just farm this thing into oblivion, and I want to farm it blazingly fast, and I want to know exactly what his health is at. And a lot of players can actually tell that because of how experienced they are. They know exactly how much damage they've done, how close the monster is to dying, and all that jazz. And I feel like the skill of being able to interpret the monster based on its behavior is much more interesting than the health bar. But let me know in the comment section if you disagree with that. Streamline the weapon and armor system. Stop making all good gear upgrades. It's not really a good experience to have to farm a new set of armor and weapons every time you advance a rank. Instead, just make good weapons incredibly expensive so that players who want to expedite this process can do. See, this point makes me think that this might be a troll. This point legitimately makes me think like this whole post might be a troll. What do you mean, stop making all the good gear upgrades? It's not a good experience to have to farm a new set of armor. I love farming a new set of armor. What do you mean? I love farming new weapons. That's the whole point of Monster Hunter. That's literally the whole point of the game, where it's like you hunt the monster, you get the bits of the monster, then you bring it back, then you make better armor, better weapon, then you go hunt a bigger monster, and then you bring its bits back, and then you craft a better armor and a better weapon, and you go craft the next big monster. What do you mean make good weapons incredibly expensive so that players who want to expedite this process can do so? Please tell me this is a troll. There's no... Maybe I shouldn't even post this video. Like, what the hell, dude? This has to be a troll, dude. I don't even know what he means incredibly expensive. Cost too much Zenny? Like, Zenny is super easy to get in the game. I don't... And what do you mean expedite this process? You mean skip the progression of Monster Hunter? Because that is even... That is so weird, because like, so you want to skip the progression, the thing that makes Monster Hunter fun, and then you want to put a battle pass on it. Anyway, point number 5. Introduce a battle pass tiered system. Modern Warfare has this. Okay. Let's just put Modern Warfare systems into everything, and it's implemented well. Allow players to level up their battle pass, receive rewards such as loot, armor, weapons, cash, skins, etc. Loot in a battle pass? So it's like, instead of me, instead of me being like, hey, I want to make the Rathalos fire sword, I'm gonna go hunt a Rathalos. You want this to be like, I want to make the Rathalos fire sword, so I better go do all of my daily tasks in order to be able to get the Rathalos fire sword. Wouldn't it just make more sense to hunt the Rathalos? To craft the fire sword? I don't know. I don't know, dude. This might just be a troll. This might just be a troll, but it gives me an opportunity to talk about why I believe that Battle Pass would not be a good system. So there you go. And it's implemented well. Allow players to level up their battle. This is a great way to have customization and uniqueness in the game. No, it's not. Because, and let me tell you why it's not a great way to have customization and uniqueness in the game. Because if every player is receiving the exact same rewards, where's the uniqueness? Every player is just going to be equipping whatever reward they happen to get. And if everybody keeps up with the Battle Pass at reasonably the same speed, everybody's going to be getting the same skins at the same time and using those same skins, most likely for the most part. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody in the player base is going to be using the exact same skin at the exact same time, but it will be like a seasonal thing. So like during the month of July, 80% of the community would be wearing the July set, the July skin. During the month of August, again, 80% of the community would be using the August set skin or set of skins, like it could be more than one. And then he just says, what do y'all think? I think with these changes, Monster Hunter will blow up. Everybody will start playing it. We don't need everybody to start playing Monster Hunter. I would like Monster Hunter to be more popular, but I only want Monster Hunter to be popular if people are interested in playing it. I don't want people to play Monster Hunter because it's popular. I want people to play Monster Hunter because they're having fun. And some of you might consider, oh, you're just gatekeeping, you don't want more people to join. That's the exact opposite. If I was gatekeeping, I wouldn't be here doing guides pretty much since the beginning of Monster Hunter World. I do guides because I want people, as many people as possible, to join in. I try to be as inclusive as possible with pretty much every single game that I've made, and I've been doing so pretty much since Demon Souls. When everybody was like, oh, this game's so hard, it's the hardest thing under the sun, and I was just like, no, it's not. It really isn't. Like, just try it out. Just try it out. Just try like this. Try doing this, try doing that. And I always try to, bring people in and try to get them to play the game, try to get them to enjoy the game, try to give them tips on how they can enjoy the game. So I've been called a gatekeeper multiple times, which I always find extremely weird because, like, why would the gatekeeper try to introduce as many people as possible to the game? It just doesn't make sense. What I don't want is for the game to change its essence, its core loop, to bring in more people. I don't want, and that's not to say that I'm against change, because Monster Hunter World is my favorite Monster Hunter to date. And I know that there's a lot of Monster Hunter veterans that don't think like this. I don't consider myself to be a Monster Hunter veteran because before World came out, I had never even reached G rank, because I wasn't able to actually create content around Monster Hunter because the game would come out in Japan, and then 2 years afterwards or whatever it would come out in the West. And by that time, all of the videos would have been made by people who speak Japanese and English. So therefore, nobody would watch most of the content that I would create because it would be old content. And Monster Hunter World was my first opportunity to actually create a lot of content around Monster Hunter. And I definitely did that because I love the game. I've loved the previous games. But I still would not consider myself to be a Monster Hunter veteran. But ultimately, it's like I'm not against change. I'm not against the game changing. What I am against is the game changing for the sole purpose of being more popular. I want the game to change in order to give us better features and new experiences, and not necessarily because, let's make it more popular. Let's really bring in as many people as possible and sell as many copies as possible, because that's not what they want to do. The team at Capcom, the Monster Hunter team, they know what their audience wants, and they want to give them that experience. Now imagine, for instance, if you would be, playing this on a battle pass system. Like, just look at this, for instance. It's just it's a screen grab that I grabbed from Fortnite, which is like the easiest thing to show in a battle pass. And imagine if you were playing Monster Hunter World like this. Instead of you actually getting your rewards from doing events and hunting things and all that, it would be like, hey, here's a set of tasks for you to do. And I know that we already have something a little bit like that with, the weekly, what are they called? Bounties, the weekly bounties. We already have a bit of a system like that, but that's just to kind of like give you armor spheres and stuff to upgrade. It's not really tied to like a specific cosmetic skin or anything like that, right? But imagine if that's what it was going to be. So instead of you going to the guiding lands and collecting a couple of monster materials in order to be able to craft their layered armor set, you would come to a system like this, where it's like, hey, do your daily tasks today, and you're going to unlock this new layered armor. Or do these daily tasks here, and you're going to unlock this amount of points. And that would be the only way of you actually getting these points, because that's kind of like how battle systems work. They're designed in a way in which you do a certain set of tasks for the day, the certain set of tasks that they want you to do. Not necessarily tasks that you think are fun, but tasks that the developers think that you should be doing. Tasks that most likely they've had people look into and be like, okay, this is something that if we get them to do this, they will be more likely to play this game for a longer period of time. So they set these tasks for these battle passes for you to do. And then as you complete these tasks, they give you a decent reward for completing those tasks. The thing is, when you finish those tasks, the reward drip is over. And they're like, okay, now you can leave and come back tomorrow and do more tasks. Because in a lot of these games that have these battle passes, once you complete the set of tasks that they have for you daily or weekly or whatever, then the reward is like, imagine if it's like a tap, right? Like a tap of water, the faucet, that's actually the name of the shit in English, a faucet. You open up the faucet for rewards so long as people are doing their daily challenges. And then when people finish doing their daily challenges, you close the faucet. Now, every action that someone takes after that, the reward is just a little drip. It's a little drip of water. That's usually how battle passes work. Whereas in Monster Hunter, it doesn't gate you at all. Like, sure, there are certain timed events, and even I've said that, like, look, I like the events. I wish they weren't timed because it does create a little bit of FOMO there. But it's like there's no gates. It's like, hey, I want to make the fire sword. Go make the fire sword. After I make the fire sword, hey, I want to go make the lightning sword. Go make the lightning sword. It's not like you have to do a set of daily tasks in order to get your lightning sword. You can just go hunt as an ogre. Boom, done. Oh, I want to make, now I want to make an ice sword. Go hunt a Legiana. Boom, done. Oh, I want to go make the layered armor set for this thing. Go to the guiding lands. Get the right materials. Boom, done. Like, that's why I don't think we should have a battle pass. A battle pass stagnates things. It makes gaming into a routine. It's not something that you do for fun anymore. It's something that you go in there and you're like, okay, what's the set of tasks for today? This thing? Boom, done. And as I've told you guys, as I was playing the Avengers here recently, and I know that a lot of you guys didn't like me playing Avengers. It is, but I was enjoying the gameplay. But like the daily and weekly challenges, they were just a chore that I would do at the start of my play session. Like I would go onto these VR training missions and boom, just bang those out. No problem, I'd just go in there and I'd kill a bunch of robots in the ways that they wanted me to kill the robots, whether that was by blocking attacks with Captain America or lasering mobs down with Iron Man. I would do the tasks in the way that they wanted me to, but I would do them in the most efficient way possible to basically getting them out of the way. Battle passes is essentially like eating your vegetables before you get to, put your teeth on a big juicy steak. Whereas in Monster Hunter World right now, you just have the steak and you can eat the vegetables if you want to, but you don't have to. This is maybe not the best of analogies because I really like vegetables. But you guys get the metaphor, right? Because it's that thing where it's like, no, first you have to do this thing that you don't like and then you can go have fun. That's what I see in a battle pass system. And I think that ultimately battle passes stagnate the industry. And why do I say that? Because when you can artificially stretch the lifespan of a game by constantly bringing out these battle passes and new skins and all of this jazz, you're not really innovating anything. You're just like prolonging the life of this game. Like, would it really be beneficial for Monster Hunter to have a battle pass? And it's like, hey, now we're gonna make a new set of skins, and then next week we make another new set of skins, and then the week after that we make another new set of skins, and you're just sitting there grinding skins. I don't think that's what Monster Hunter players want. Personally, what I want is I always want to see the next thing, right? Like I finished Monster Hunter World. Obviously, we still have to do Fatalis and all that stuff, and there's still other things that I want to do in the game for fun. But it's like, for all intents and purposes, when I finished the game, I'm like, cool, loved it. It was friggin' amazing. I don't feel pressured, like I have to keep playing it every single day. I don't feel that pressure, which is a good thing. And at the same time, I can't wait for the next one. I can't wait for the next one. I can't wait to see what they do next. That's the way that I personally look at it. But let me know if you think differently, because even though this particular post that we're talking about, it may be a troll, it may not be a troll, I don't actually know. But I have seen talking points like this from other people as I've been playing Monster Hunter World. People that are like, oh man, I wish this was more like a live service. And I was like, no, I think it's fine the way that it is. If anything, I wish it was a little bit less live service with the events just coming and staying forever. I think that would be way cooler. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. And remember, if you're interested in Final Fantasy XIV content, the channel is going to be in the description as well as the pinned comment of this video. Go check it out. And if you enjoy it, subscribe, all that jazz. And later tonight, PlayStation 5 reveal event, all of that. Be doing that live here on YouTube. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. But for now, that's gonna be it. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you did not enjoy this video, hit the dislike button, because feedback is important. Thank you all for watching. Stay strong, stay safe. Peace out.